Hello everyone, it's me, that divination witch, and I hope you're all doing well. Now I'm back with another witchy video, another in my series of spirits and deities that I have met. If you don't know, obviously I'm that divination witch, and I do a lot of readings for people, and I'm privileged that I get to speak with spirits I wouldn't always get to speak with. So I have met quite a few deities that I haven't personally worked with, but I have spoke with for other people over the years. And today I'm going to be talking about a god that I admire greatly, and his name is Balder. Now, if you're new here, I want to just give you a big welcome. I'm Sarah, I'm that divination witch, as you know, and welcome. Yeah, I hope you stick around. This is a safe space, so if you have a question, ask away. Nothing silly. I'm not a dick. At least I try not to be. I like to help people, so you know, if there's anyone you want me to cover, any questions you've got, ask away. More than happy to help. I've also got a link tree, it's just below. If you want to support the channel, I offer readings and a Patreon service as well. Anything I earn, it goes straight back into the channel to help me do what I do, and hopefully one day I'll just do this all the time. But yes, I'm so grateful if you do support me. Thank you. So Balder, well, kind of explained who he was in a nutshell, I suppose, but he is a light god. He is the son of Odin and Frigg, not the only son, but one of them. And yes, he's known as a god of light and a god of healing, a god of knowledge, because he is a light god. I suppose his archetypes would be Yeshua or Jesus, and Apollo as well, I would say. Probably many others, but those two are sticking out off the top of my head. And he is an integral character, an integral part of Norse mythology. His most famous myth is the one of his death. I know, that brings about Ragnarok. Ragnarok, if you don't know, is the end of the world in Norse mythology. Who brings the end of the world? Loki. Why? Because he killed Balder. So the story goes that Balder was beloved by everybody, and he still is. He's a nice guy, he actually really is. And his mother Frigg, being a goddess of magic, being a mother goddess, she went to every living creature and plant and everything and everyone within all the realms and made them swear that they would never hurt Balder. And they did. And using her magic, you know, that was a thing. She missed one little plant out, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But she was so sure that nobody could hurt Balder, everyone knew about it. And the gods themselves one day were testing the theory, let's say. They were having, he's putting it in my head as japes, if you know what a jape is. It's an old word for jokes. They were having jokes with him, pulling pranks on him, and they were like hitting him and trying to hurt him, and he wasn't getting hurt because Frigg's love basically made him a superhero. He was a superhero god. Nobody could hurt him. But then there was Loki. He knew what he was doing. I feel like I'm being influenced telling you this dramatic story. Oh, Loki, being the trickster that he is, he shapeshifted into a kind old woman. And he went to Frigg and he said, "Frigg, what's up?" He didn't say it like that, but he did say, "Have you told everyone? Have you told every living being that they can't hurt Balder? What's all this about?" And Frigg revealed that, oopsie, I missed one, and that was the mistletoe plant. Now Loki was not himself, he was disguised as an old lady, so Frigg just trusted this old lady and let it slip in the conversation. And Loki, being Mr. Loki, he went and got some mistletoe and crafted, I believe it was like a spike or an arrow or something. And he went back to the gods, who were still playing this game of trying to hurt Balder and not being able to. He went to Balder's brother, Hoder. Hoder, the blind god. He is blind, famously, in the mythology. So he doesn't know who the heck he's looking at, because he can't see. Obviously, Sarah, why have I said it like that? So he went to Hoder with the mistletoe and said, try hit him with this. And Hoder did. And Balder died. And on the back of his death, he went to the underworld, Helheim, and the gods had to bargain with Queen Hel to bring him back to life, to have him resurrected. Again, another god that gets resurrected. That's why I said about Jesus, the whole archetype thing. It's an archetype, similar. And he does eventually get resurrected, but his death brings about a catalyst. Well, his death is the catalyst. It brings about Ragnarok. So Odin obviously is mega pissed off with Loki that, you've just killed me son, what you doing? And Loki is punished, and it's effed up what happens to Loki. I mean, Loki already had a bum deal before that, his first lot of kids, which was Queen Hel, Jormungandr and Fenrir. Queen Hel, poor lass, who I sometimes work with. I don't mean that disrespectfully, she knows I love her very much. She was born half alive and half dead, and then outcast to Helheim to deal with the underworld, to be the goddess of the underworld. Jormungandr, the world serpent, he was chucked into the ocean and basically became the serpent that wrapped around the world, Midgard, Earth. And Fenrir was the wolf that was supposed to help his father in Ragnarok, and was bound and chained by the gods and bit off Tyr's arm as well. Tyr is the god of war. Anyways, Loki had remarried. He was with Sigyn, his second wife. Although some people say he wasn't even married to his first wife, they were lovers. Angrboda, who is a Jotun, who I can speak about all these because I've been fortunate to meet Angrboda and Sigyn as well. Sigyn is the goddess of loyalty, and being the goddess of loyalty, she stuck by Loki's side. They had 2 sons of their own, Sigyn and Loki, and because of Balder's death, it was an eye for an eye. Odin had them killed in a brutal way, which I can't say on YouTube. And he had Loki bound and chained, and had a snake dripping venom onto Loki that Sigyn so loyally stayed by Loki's side and kept catching the venom in a bowl. But every time she would empty the bowl of the venom, it would burn Loki's skin when it dripped on him. But she stuck by him no matter what. And these events were the catalyst of Ragnarok. It's said that the end of the world happens when Loki breaks free, and his children, meaning Fenrir, and even Queen Hel, I suppose, but he brings an uprising against the gods. And yeah, that's who Balder is. I know it became the Loki show then. I feel like it became the Loki show. But it's a case of, with Norse mythology, we take it with a pinch of salt, most definitely with Norse mythology, because the sources we have, the prose Eddas, the poetic Eddas, the sagas, they were Christianized. Norse peoples, they either didn't really write things down as much as other cultures, or their artifacts and histories were lost when Christianization happened. Believed it was the Swedish kings that forced it upon the others, and I don't know. I'm no historian here, but what I do know is that the mythologies are heavily Christianized, and therefore Loki is demonized. He's the bad guy, he's the adversary in the mythologies. And Balder, the reason he's compared with Jesus, I suppose, is because they're both light gods in a way. They're both bringers of light and knowledge and saviours. And they both have resurrections. They both are killed and brought back, save the world, save people. That's what they are, who they are. Now Balder, yes, he is the light god. He's a healer, and you can go to him for healing. He's a kind, very kind person, and he doesn't brag about who he is or what he does. He's very humble. Now when I see him, I know it's typical being a light god, but I do see him surrounded in light, like a halo all around him, and he wears golden armour, and he has blonde hair and a blonde short beard. That's the way I normally see him. He's normally around my age, maybe a bit older, in his 40s. You know what to look at. And every time I've spoke with him, he has been nothing but kind and friendly. I do feel Norse gods on the whole can be a bit, well, it depends on the god, but a lot of them are warriors, basically. It does depend on the god or goddess. So they can be very straight talking peoples, and I like that about them actually, because I like to be that way. They don't need anything sugarcoating. And for all, Balder is this fantastic god, and the apple of Odin's eye, and very powerful in his own right, and healing and kind. He's so humble. He doesn't ask for much in return. That he'd help anybody. He's so kind that he would help anybody. He's very approachable. Doesn't matter what background, doesn't matter the colour of your skin or your religion or anything. He'd help anybody. He really would. And I do feel sometimes a little bit frustration when people compare him to, say, Jesus or other gods, because he's just him, and he just wants to be known as him. He doesn't, although I have had to compare him in this video to give you an idea, but he doesn't want to be compared. He just likes to be him, because he loves the background he comes from. And I feel like the reason that there's a little bit of contention with that, he doesn't like to be compared, it's not because he's got anything against Jesus or any other cultures. Like I say, he would help anybody. It's more that the culture he came from, they were forced to forget their gods. They were forced into being Christianized, and he hates that. Nobody should ever take another person's free will, take their culture from them. So, sorry, my camera battery is also just flashing up all of a sudden. So if this cuts off, I may have to come back in a sec. So what I was saying is the reason for the contention that he doesn't like to be compared so much, it's not because he's got anything against any other gods. It's because his people were forced to forget him, to renounce him, and nobody should take anyone's free will. That's universal law. Hecate's taught me that, and I feel a lot of gods are so respectful of that humans should come to them of their own free will, and should, well, basically worship them of their own free will if they want to do that. No one should ever be forced into anything out of fear, and he hates that. He would hate it if someone was doing that in his name, and in the past apparently they have, many years ago, and he didn't like that. Because he likes people to make their own minds up about things. He's tolerant of everything, everyone, basically. And if you need somebody that is just kind and understanding, he would really help you with emotional healing, healing traumas, healing pain. Healing, I don't know why I want to say like things like body dysmorphia and physical issues as well. He's no miracle worker. He isn't going to lay hands on you and suddenly you can walk again or something like that. But it's more the problems things like that bring, like big illnesses. It's not just the illness itself that someone suffers with, it's the repercussions of it, the the day-to-day living, the emotional pain, the pain and the worry of people around them. He understands that, and he likes to help with things like that. So yeah, if you want to work with him, just talk with him. It doesn't require anything fancy. You don't need to summon him. It doesn't need a fancy anything really. If you're going to get him a candle, get him a candle. He doesn't mind the colour, but if you did ask him, it will probably be white, yellow, orange, gold, that sort of colour. He likes the sunshine, he likes summertime, springtime, he likes gold things, he likes animals, he likes going for walks in nature. I know that might sound a bit silly, but if you ever wanted to go grounding somewhere, if you just, you know, decided, let's go on a walk, wear a necklace for him or something, ask him to accompany you, you know. That's who he is. He also likes when people do physical exercise, meaning, say, you know, you're doing it to be able to defend yourself, to be able to improve yourself. He can help with that. And yeah, he doesn't require much in the way of things. Yeah, that's what he's saying basically, and that's the way I see him. That's who he is. That's what he can help with. But with all these deities, our relationships with them are personal. So, you know, if he reaches out to you, just talk with him. You know, it's all personal. But that's a generalization of what he can do and what he's known for. So yeah, I just felt like talking about him today. He just popped into my mind. Since his mother is one of my patron goddesses, he's just nice to be around. He really is. So I hope that helped. If anyone's interested in Balder, no, he isn't the guy who made Baldur's Gate. No, he isn't like his depiction in God of War either. He's in the newer God of War games. He doesn't really look like that. He's just him. That's what he's saying. Look, I'm just me. I'm just a guy. Talk with me. That's the way he is. I'm just a guy. Yeah, I might be a light god. Okay, it doesn't mean I'm special. He's so humble like that. So yeah, that's who he is. I hope this helped. If you want to learn more about other deities, I've got a playlist of all the different people I've spoke with. Check it out. If you want to subscribe to me, then hit subscribe. You may as well. You made it this far. And until next time, stay safe and stay witchy. Bye.